Welcome to Dare a New Belief, a place to discover what is possible for your life after the loss of a loved one, and where you will find inspiration, insight, support, and love, and hopefully a bit of laughter to help you through your day. Now, here's your host, Nada Hogan.
Welcome to Dare a New Belief, where you will find light and life, love and joy, healing, faith, and hope. A place where you get to believe in what is possible for your life. Today, I have the great honor to have Kathleen Scherek on the show with me. And Kathleen is an award-winning educator, author, and sacred parenting coach. She mentors pregnant and new parents, grandparents, and child professionals who care for young children in the first 7 years of life. For more than 30 years, Kathleen has studied neuroscience, child development, energy psychology, vibrational health, quantum physics, and world religions. You are phenomenal, Kathleen. I love this. She has been a top international consultant to Fortune 200 companies, is a former university associate dean, and has advised the Walton and Gates Foundations about innovation in education. Co-founder of a Montessori school-based school that has served thousands of families. She is a founding board trustee of several foundations. Welcome, Kathleen, who has done a lot.
Well, my goodness, when you've been around a while, you tend to get a couple things accomplished, I think. But, it's all about the people that you surround yourself with, too, like you, Nada. Wonderful to be here with you.
Oh, thank you so much, because truly it is my honor. I'm so grateful that you are here and we're going to have a great conversation. And it's been a while since I have spoken with you, Kathleen. So can you tell us what you are doing these days?
Yes, well, there's so many wonderful things happening in this whole burgeoning field of raising the consciousness of those who help care for children. And I have the great pleasure to be coaching parents and grandparents and those who work with children, teachers and healers and all, around really the sacredness of the first 7 years. And I call them the 7 years of sacred. And it really begins 1 year before birth. So it begins preconception. So there's so many wonderful things that happen because children at these early ages they can be natural mystics, and they are natural scientists and explorers, and they're constantly giving us clues about who they are, Nada. And when we can lift ourselves out of our own psychology in some cases, lift ourselves out of our own filters, we can see our children more clearly for who they are really here to be. And it's just fascinating and fun and exciting, and it's helping people work through any of the practical issues that they may have, because sacred parenting is really beyond biology. There's so much information out there that's about what happens physically during pregnancy and birth and during a child's early development. There's so much information readily available about the biology and the physical changes, but there's not a lot available. And we're not talking a lot yet about the consciousness that it takes to be around children when they're young. We tend to think either they don't understand what we're saying or what we're doing on the one continuum, or we treat them as they're already fully grown adults. And there's some place in the middle where the sacredness really exists.
Wow, that's beautiful. And just in that little tidbit, I have so many questions for you. But before I start asking those, can you tell us a little bit more what sacred parenting is? I mean, I know you described a lot of it, but how do you describe that? Yeah.
I really refer to it as this is the sweet spot where science and spirit really meet. So this is where the latest research, not only about parenting or about child development, but the latest research, period, the latest research about quantum physics, the latest research about energy psychology, where the latest research melds together with the ancient wisdom and the things that we know that have been around for thousands and thousands of years and passed down through generations. So there's a sweet spot in there that we can customize to our own families once we understand what it's about.
Wow. Wow. I'm telling you, I've told you this before, and I'm telling you again, I wish I would have known you 28 years ago when my son was born. 'Cause it would have been so interesting, and as I look back on him now and I tell him all the time, I am so sorry for the way that I raised you. I did. I mean, he turned out to be a really great kid, but when you know better, you do better. And he just would have, I think your services would have been so monumental and for him and for me, because that's part of it. It's the child, but you also work with the parents. And that is so important, because it's the knitting together of both of those.
Absolutely. And here's the beautiful thing, Nada. I have so many colleagues and friends that have started with that similar statement as yours. I wish I would have. And here's the beautiful thing about when we come into the sacredness of parenting. I've got really a formula that I've developed that's includes 9 keys. And the very first key is that we have these soul agreements. And so your son knew that you were his mom. He chose you as his mom. And if we even just consider that possibility, then we know that we really, as long as we are striving to be good people and doing the best that we can, that we can't go wrong, because we've connected with our child, the child that we chose, the child who chose us for whatever lessons and whatever wonderful journeys we are to experience in life. They're here to offer their own gifts to the world, and so are we. And oftentimes, as you just said, it's through the melding of the two. But please take heart here that, to just consider that we've chosen each other as parent and child. And no matter when we come into different ways of knowing things or understanding things, it's the perfect time.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes. And I have played with that, with the soul agreements. And it's like, is it true? Is it not true? How do I feel about that? Not true. I don't want to say true, but how do I feel about that? How does that resonate
Absolutely.
with me? And
Yes.
just because of everything with my daughter passing away the way she did, it just makes me believe that, yeah, I really do think that every one of us, we all signed up to be part of this family. And so we could teach each other what we needed to teach and learn what we needed to learn. And it was only going to happen in these dynamics. And it's so fascinating when you think about it like that, because there's this whole other world out there beyond these wonderful and loving 5 senses, but there's a whole other world out there that's way more fascinating than what chocolate tastes like. So,
Well, I don't know. I do. I'm a chocolate gal, so I do. I value that pretty highly. But I absolutely agree with you that we have inner senses that, and this is another part of this sacred parenting journey, is that it's really a journey of discernment, and that's discernment as opposed to judgment. Discernment being a building of our heart sensing abilities. It's a quality of the heart and the ability to sense from within. So the outer senses, the wonderful, delightful taste of chocolate, and the sound of the hummingbirds buzzing by, whatever things that we may value and find joy from, that there are inner senses that can bring even deeper and greater joy, and the deeper and greater assessment, really discernment of subtle energies and nuances in life that can help our children. And when we can get to the level where we're working on those subtle energies, we really are honoring the soul of the child and what they're here to accomplish. And we get so distracted by many women, myself, yourself included, are out there in the working world, and we get distracted by some of the what I call horizontal energies, the energies that pull us in different directions through our clients, through our work relationships, our vendors, our alliances, whatever it might be. And when it comes to those early years of working with children and nurturing children, the vertical energies and the vertical connection is really so much more important to ground us. And that's the vertical energies, whatever we may call it, a higher power, the universe, God, the angels, nature, wherever we really get our drivenness at the soul level, that vertical connection really is destined to manifest in our interactions, especially with our children, because they can feel it. They can feel whatever mood we're in. We don't have to say it. They already know it. This is what's happening with quantum physics and the lessons that we're learning in the new research with energy. Words carry energy, but our very essence carries energy. And most of us know that if we've had a rough day at work and we come home and we've got little ones to attend to, for me now it's grandchildren, but they're little, and if we've got little ones to attend to, that we best wash ourselves of those energies we've been dealing with before we engage with the little ones, else we might unintentionally bring energies that can affect them in ways that we don't intend.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just want to circle back to this one piece where you had said, working with discernment, not judgment, but discernment, and the building of the heart sensing. And I know that you know this, that the heart, I think it was in 92 or 96 1992 or 96, very, very recently in the medical world, when they discovered that the heart has 40,000 thinking neurons. Did you know that, Kathleen?
Yes, this is what I mean by the latest research, in that the heart actually tells the brain what to do. And and there's so much even associated with that. If you're familiar with the research with the Heart Math Institute, for example, that the heart variability rate, that we can affect our own heart variability rate through our own navigation of our own energies and those that are right around us. That's number one. And the heart variability rate, when it is in a smooth curve, keeps us in a centered place, almost not in a meditative state, but in a centered place, which Heart Math calls coherence, which we might call alignment. We might call it resonance. But the technical term that they give it is coherence. So if we are in a coherent state when we're with our children, it's the best place to be, because we're in a zone. And they're already in a zone naturally. Heart Math also has research from now 25 years ago or so that shows that within a radius of 8 feet, that we can energetically affect emotionally people who are within that radius, as you may well know. And so that all of these things that we may know, but we don't necessarily consciously apply to the nurturing of little children.
Right. And I absolutely love how you spoke of this, the horizontal energies. And it feels like that's where we get tangled up, and we're not paying attention to that heart sensing, and we're not paying attention when the heart is telling the brain, or for us to wash ourselves of the day before we come in with whatever that energy was from work or whatever activity we're doing, before we're with these little ones. So it's not in a high coherence, or is not in a high vibration of love and right. But the horizontal, I just love the horizontal energies. I've never heard that before, and I may have to borrow that with your permission, because it just
please
speaks
do
so well.
And it really does. We each intake the world differently. I'm visual. So horizontal, vertical, zigzag, that's visual to me. Others take in the world differently. And one of the things I talk about is how children give us clues to how they take in the world. But the horizontal energies, I almost refer to them more as they can often be energies that entangle us, as opposed to vertical energies that entwine us. So the entwining can be more of a